Hello and welcome back to another episode of Sexology Podcast. I am so excited and honored to welcome my friend and one of my wonderful colleagues, Melissa Dumas. Melissa, welcome to our show.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Nazanin. It's awesome to be here and to have this conversation with you today.
We actually had this conversation so many times together for our listeners that Melissa and I used to co-facilitate, co-moderate several rooms in Clubhouse during the pandemic. And it was one of the topics that we're talking about. And especially with Melissa, she works with lots of high achieving parents. And when I got these questions from you guys, I thought this would be a great opportunity to have her on our show. Well, Melissa, tell us what do you see is common among parents when it comes to their intimate life?
One of the things that I see that's common is the shift or the change that will take place once a couple decides to become parents. I think that they don't anticipate, they know that life will change, but they don't anticipate just how much life will change. And then also the anticipation that it may change based off of a child. And so, for example, if a parent brings home a child after birth and delivery, and that child sleeps through the night, then parents may have a very different restful night. And that may look differently in regards to their relationship and how it impacts the intimacy in their relationship. But child number two may be the child that comes home and doesn't sleep through the night. And then that creates a shift or a change in how they're connecting during bedtime or after bedtime. So we don't always take into consideration how adding a child or adding a baby or adding or growing a family to the couple dynamic and how it's going to shift things around.
Well, I love that you brought up that example. Even for the couples, from one child to another, that can be a different experience. And with that, I can imagine even like people at times, they have special needs children, or their children going through a tough period of time. And I've seen a lot in my clients that when one of the partner feels that their partner is not having their back, they're alone in doing chores, they're alone in kind of taking care of the child, they are not going to be open about having sex. They feel resentful, or at times they might even unconsciously weaponize sex. So is that something that you have seen as well?
I have seen that. And one of the culprits to that is we go into this season or this chapter of our relationship or our marriage or our partnership with these unspoken expectations. And, and we here in America live in this society where there's these very gender specific roles that a man is supposed to play or a woman is supposed to play, or who's more maternal or who's more paternal. And if we are not speaking about those roles and what they look like in our specific family, we may find ourselves knowingly or not knowingly ascribing to the rules or of the society or the expectations of the society. And one of those biggest shifts is when one partner decides to be a stay-home parent with the children or with the child, then that creates a shift in the family dynamic as well. One of the most common ones that I've seen is that the stay-home partner is, quote, air quotes, responsible for all the home duties and all the child duties. And if that hasn't been communicated, then that can absolutely build some resentment or build some unspoken expectations. And then absolutely, if a partner has used all of their energy throughout the day to tend to the home, to tend to the children, when the other partner gets home, they may have any energy, or they may not, be as willing, as open to connect with their partner. They may feel exhausted.
Absolutely. I think, as you mentioned, communication is such a big part of it. I remember a few years ago, I had this conversation with a client of mine, and they were very traditional. And the husband said, I got home and the wife put the child on me because she wanted to go out, but I'm a breadwinner. And he was so mad at that. It's like, I didn't say anything because I was so shocked, but then I was mad at her. So, and again, it's a matter of communication. This is the script I'm having about like this, what's supposed to be a breadwinner, what's supposed to be a homemaker, or what are we doing? Because sometimes also I've seen that also with my clients at times, that we have challenges with asking for help. We think we have to do it all. So we're kind of like, even our partner sometimes might be willing to help, but we feel it's a failing if we're not be able to do it. I think that also can be impactful in the relationship. And I think the other part of it is the
Right.
social media, right? That I
Right.
have so many wonderful influencers I'm following, and they have young children and their feed is perfect. And I'm sure they have their own struggles. But if I was a young mother, maybe I was feeling a feeling that, okay, other people are getting it, they're doing it. I must be able to do it, which of course that's not the case. Go ahead.
Right, absolutely. It's not the case. And communication, as you said, is a huge piece of it. And even if that communication starts in the dating phase or in the wooing or the engagement phase or the family planning phase, one of the a question that I've heard recently is another woman ask is, what do dads do? And so even if it's that simple or that basic of a question to what do dads do for you? What is your vision of what dads do? What do moms do? And to have that conversation. And if those roles are very, as you used the word earlier, Nazanin, traditional, and one of us doesn't subscribe to those traditional roles, then that's a conversation that we should be having very early on. The other thing too is as we are thinking about, one parent being a breadwinner or more of the breadwinner, does that mean in your relationship that absolves them from all the parenting duties? And that's something to talk about too. Like, yes, you're a breadwinner. However, I would still like help in these ways, which brings me to the conversation about help. You're right. A lot of people, especially ambitious, high achieving client couples, feel like asking for help means that I'm failing. I should be able to do this. I should have the energy, or I should have the knowledge or the wherewithal. And just because we've been successful in so many other areas of our lives doesn't mean there is an area that we aren't going to have challenges with. And I'm of the mindset, as my private practice is called You Help You, that not asking for help is how we're failing. Not asking for help is how we're failing ourselves, because there's so many resources out there from within our household, with our partner, from outside of our household, that we can ask for help. And for the young mom who is scrolling social media and seeing all these beautiful influencer posts, to please remember, it's curated, it's created, it's to give you the
Right. It's part of the business marketing for many people. And I agree with you. And I think it's important to think about it the same way that if you want to advertise any kind of business, if you have a company and they're showing like perfect picture of their employee, that would be the same.